welcome back to the Youth Academy Road to Glory. I asked you a question in the last one, and the response was rather overwhelming. We, of course, are looking for a new centre-back. There is someone that we had at the club that moved on, and it turns out quite a lot of you would like to see Ben Jack back at the club. 100 plus thumbs up on Beeples. This is where it comes in handy, where I say leave your own comment and also thumbs up other people's comments as well, and the most popular ones rise to the top. And well, they most certainly have risen to the top. Stanley Lyons to be retrained as a centre mid, by the way, is definitely something I'm actually genuinely looking into, because it turns out, if you actually look at his stats, he's quite good in every area. There isn't really a weak spot to his game, other than maybe balance of reactions and actually putting the ball in the back of the net. Everything else is pretty decent. He could be a right back. He could be a... Actually, I'm not sure about centre back. How tall is he? 5'8". He could be a right back. He couldn't be a centre back, but he could be a CDM. He could be a centre mid. He could be a cam. He could be a winger. He could be a right mid, as he is right now. So I am actually retraining him as a centre mid, just to see out of curiosity what his rating looks like. But the most important thing is that we start with trying to bring Ben Jack back to the club. Now, initially, I was going to try and loan him, but they don't want to loan him, so I'm going to just friggin' buy him. I'm not sure how much I'm actually going to have to pay here because the scout report has run out. However, I'm sure if I start at about 30, they will come up to me. And they're quite happy to just accept 30. So, sure. Paid. Ben Jack is coming back to the football club. A previous fan favourite, I think previous captain, perhaps, when he was here with us last. Ben Jack will arrive back on English shores from his brief foray into Spain. Our Scottish former superstar centre-back now actually will come in and not be our highest rated centre-back anymore. His career hasn't progressed in Spain as he may well have hoped that it might, but Ben is back. Drop the video a like if you're enjoying this career mode. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any more. We'll see what else we can do in this transfer window, as well as kickstart our Premier League season. Genoa have tried, or would like to, loan Kai. I actually will be open to that. Kai is not good enough to make an impact on our starting lineup, or even as a squad player anymore. So I will allow him, well, obviously, for the storyline of the save, we'd love Kai to stay as a AFC Chesnoid player. However, he would just sit there and rot. So we might be able to just loan him out, keep him as an AFC Chesnoid player, and you never know, he might kickstart his career again with a loan spell somewhere. That would be ideal, if possible. Juan Carlos Navarro is going out on loan himself to Frosinone, to Italy, which is where Kai would be headed. Now, I'm actually starting in the preseason friendlies now. Da Costa and Rodriguez are two potential to be special young Brazilians. Palmer have come in to loan Lima as well, purely for a year. That's exactly what I was after. Thank you very much. Don't even have to renegotiate that one. So I'm hoping that these youngsters will actually get some good first team experience in preseason. Rodriguez on the score sheet as well. And then that will hopefully instigate some good loan spells for them. I really want to bring those two through, if I possibly can, to ensure that they get a fantastic run at being in the starting lineup before too long. Cooper, I'm looking to loan, not sell. Thank you. So Cooper can stay there. And as previously agreed with Crystal Palace, the sale of Mateo Fernandes included a sell-on clause. So we've actually earned £165,000 from Mateo Fernandes being sold. Now, Crystal Palace, of course, were relegated last season, and I'd be very intrigued to see where Mateo Fernandes has actually gone, because he was their starting goalkeeper, and at the minute, he is now at Salzburg in Austria. Sideways step, one might feel, from a strong championship side, one of the best sides in that league, to Salzburg in Austria. Not the obvious, but you do you, pal. It's your career. Thank you for your service, Mr. Castro. Our Bolivian superstar through the lower leagues just hasn't quite cut it at the top level, but we wish him well. Oh, it's a sad day. A really sad day. But it's not permanent. It's a see you later, it's not a goodbye. Kai Konik is on his way to Italy for a loan spell at Genoa. If he somehow manages to re-kickstart his career, that would be insane. But as it stands right now, Kai's time in the squad really should come to an end. We would be artificially hampering ourselves trying to shoehorn him in. Ian Gray, 73 to 94. I'm curious at the very least for our first American signing. Is there anybody from the Ivory Coast that would be worth having a look at? Moussa Fofana for sure. But he didn't look like he was going to be spectacular. But you never know. With a position change or a little bit of training, someone could be very, very good indeed. Ooh, 56 acceleration is not great, sir. His passing's actually better than his tackling. Intriguing. Maybe Moussa Fofana, with that lack of pace, might be more of a central midfielder or CDM than he is. Oh, 61 weeks. Fucking great, mate. Maybe he's a CDM then, rather than a right back, I think. And then Ian Gray, he's down as a cam. He's 5'5". Oh, whoa. Yeah, no, you're not great, mate. Sorry, mate. Twa now interested in Samaras. He's a popular boy, Angelos Samaras. But he's peaked, potentially. So I am intrigued by the fact that a number of people seem rather keen on picking him up. Because he's not going to grow anymore. It's very intriguing. One thing we do need to do is add development plans to those new signings we brought in yesterday and with Ben Jack today as well. We'll try and improve Sissoko's defensive stats to ensure that he improves as best as possible there. Ben Jack is all... Actually, did that say Ben Jack hasn't peaked? He hasn't. So he hasn't grown in the 2 years since we sold him. Now he's come back and he can grow yet further. Bing! That is the dream scenario for that. Couldn't have asked for more there. And then, again, we'll just improve the defensive stats for Romero. And those 3 defensive signings may well turn out to be 3 of the best signings we could have made at this stage of our Premier League career. Fantastic. A debut for Sissoko and for Romero, and a second coming for Ben Jack here today as we welcome Fulham for the first game of the Premier League season. Ambrose, Scally, Ruelt, Tar and John. Midfield for them is Hjulmand and Amadou Anana, with Jan Kuto, Campaz and Buchanan sat behind Ferran Jutgla up top for Fulham. We have not a new ground per se, it's an upgraded ground is effectively the storyline we're going with. We haven't moved, but we've just added a tier or 2 and expanded the ground from 19,000 to 28,000 for this season. And then once we get European football, then we can enhance the ground yet further still. Game 1 of Season 6 in the Premier League. Ambitions to be a top half club this year if possible. Let's give it a go. Buchanan again, many an option. That's a lovely little ball in. Unreal from John. And Campaz back to John and saved by Richardson. Fulham performing very well in the opening 10 minutes. Coming on the back foot here. Here's John. Well in, Ben. That's the Ben Jack we remember and we loved. Samaras into Fleming. We've had nothing to feed on in that first half whatsoever. Salinas has barely touched the ball at all. Oh, it would have been the most perfect timing you've ever seen in your life if he strolls onto that and turns it home. He's tried to guide it into that bottom corner. And unfortunately, he's guided it wide. Would have been the best piece of... What's the opposite of commentator's curse? But that was... Oh, would have been a dreamy way to start the second half. Wasn't to be. Jutgla. Nice little flick on Nana. Looking for Jutgla again. Fortuitously falls for him. But comfortably saved in the end by Richardson. Really nicely done. I tell you what, Salinas, if he times this well, Edwards is in and away. Well, we've had 1 shot so far in this game. It's not been on target. Now we've had 2, and that's not been on target either. Tom Edwards, our potential to be special next Gareth Bale, isn't quite Bale levels yet. Half to himself, sprinting through, hits the inside of the post. Put some faith in his good dribbling stats, which we've done well. Salinas Maybe I should have gone for the pass. Went for it myself. Edwards. Oh, I have not been luckier all game than that. Fleming arguably might well have tucked that away. Salinas underneath this. Samaras actually then underneath that as well. Fleming on his left favoured side. Straight into the hands of the awaiting James Ambrose. It's really well done. Whipped nicely too. Jack away. The clearance isn't superb. And they've got, the man on the edge of the box. Oh, it looked awkward actually for Richardson in the end there. I thought that was going to be a bit of a comfortable save, but seemingly getting away from him. Lasse Schultz going off, as are a couple of others. Stanley Lyons coming on in a centre mid spot to see what he's like in there. We obviously haven't used him too much, but he's had a couple of great years out on loan, grown stupendously, and now might be his moment to be a squad player here at the club and make a difference. We might have one more opportunity. Bustamante finds Stanley Lyons. Lyons finds Salinas. Looking out wide here to Edwards and getting it to him nicely. Here on the overlap comes Romero, and he's in behind here, Romero. And players back here to lift it to. Salinas is there with a header on target. Acrobatically saved by Ambrose, but I think that was a bit more of a camera save than anything else. It's a scoreless draw to start the season. Now, to be fair, one of the fun objectives is keep 10 clean sheets in the Premier League, so we've started off all right on that front. Although, in our first game at home in our upgraded stadium, I might have liked to get the win. There are definitely going to be players that we can improve upon, for sure. But Monaco bid 40 million. Ooh, 50 million, 49.9. Bloody hell. No. South Korea. Any worldies in South Korea? We'd love to have some sort of Asian influence on our starting 11. We'd love to be a bit more of a global team on squad, but not on this occasion, able to find someone that's any good. Now, one of the fun objectives is finish better in the league than we did last year. And at the minute, after one game, we are exactly where we finished last year, which was 14th. One of the other fun objectives, of course, was to take 10 points from newly promoted sides from last season's championship season. That being Bournemouth, West Brom and Wolves. So we have the opportunity to pick up some of those points in this next game then. At home again, actually, against Bournemouth now. Starting off with a couple of home games this season. And this time, I'd like to actually get a bloody goal. Bournemouth then bring with them from the Championship David Raya in goal, the former Brentford man. Nelson Semedo, Stefan Posch, Kevin Danso and Jordan Zamora. Billing still here alongside an 84 rated Danilo. Silas Fujimoto and Dawley behind an 82 rated Rafa Mir. It's not a bad team for Bournemouth, and you can see why they got promoted last year. I'm sure Rafa Mir fired in a number of goals for them, but they're absolutely a side that we feel like we should be beating. So are Fulham, to be fair. We should have done better in the first game of the season last time out, but the whole aim of the fan objective to pick up as many points as possible as we can against these newly promoted sides is to kind of show ourselves as an established Premier League team now, having just come up from the league below ourselves the season prior. And there is no better time to stamp your authority on a game than the present. Rafa Mir straight into Murphy. Nice interception by the latest player to reach the 80s in rating in our team. Edwards is the player to watch, apparently. He's certainly one of the players to watch. I wouldn't say he's the player to watch. Salinas would certainly have a say about that. Schultz trying to find some space to work a shot cutting in from the flank. Hoping that with further growth from him this year, he'll have a bigger impact on the game than he did last season when we brought him in January, Lasse Schultz. In theory, on paper, he's a very good player. Hasn't really shown that on grass yet, although there were flourishes of it last year. That one individual goal that he scored was particularly impressive last season, and if we can have more of that this year, then absolutely, he'll be a key member of this team. Samaras getting forward, and Salinas finding Fleming. Looking out for Romero. The fullback is forward. On the floor looking for Salinas, but can't find him. He's been quiet so far, Nacho. That one effort against Fulham that he should have done better with. The only real chance he's had to score so far this season. Yes, Romero. Love that. What a challenge. That was insane. Salinas needs some support here. It has arrived. Samaras could do with some support of his own. And Romero won the ball back in the first place. Will float it into the middle. And Edwards brings it down. And draws a brilliant save out of David Raya. Brilliant technique from Tom Edwards. Unfortunately, not rewarded. Can we get to that with Ben Jack? No. Murphy will nod this down. And Samaras, oh, couldn't have done worse, to be fair. But somehow managed to find Schultz, who finds Fleming, who gets tackled. And still, Schultz has it. Samaras again, this time now deflected. And wide for another corner. The pressure is building here now. This is better from us. Can we get on the end of that cross? No, we can't. Still, the pressure builds, though, on the Bournemouth goal. We'll play the pass. Fleming has options, but not many of them, that actually might do damage with the ball at their feet. Salinas can do damage with either foot, though. And he's dealt some. Nacho Salinas scores the first goal of the new Premier League season for AFC Chesnoid, and it really couldn't or shouldn't have been anyone else, should it? It's immediately shown. Danilo more defence-minded than anything else, but he's going for goal, and Fujimoto picks up on the loose ball, and Bournemouth aren't happy with just one. They want to go and get another. They're wanting to start their season the same way that they ended the last, by winning games and rising up the table. Very lucky that it fell straight to him, but he still tucked it away well, and it's 1-1 at Patreon Park. No clean sheet this time. Oscar Dawley down the line nicely to Rafamir, driving in the space behind, and still going, Rafamir. Oh, they're so lucky, Bournemouth. They're so lucky. 2 goals from rebounds for AFC Bournemouth in the battle of the AFCs. It's the away team that so far are coming out on top. Edwards in the middle. We'll use the right back first, and hopefully Lasser will make me movement. Oh, he will eventually. And that's a great ball through from the right back as well. Lasse Schultz in behind here. Try and get it on his left. He's taking it around the goalkeeper, Lasse Schultz! The sign of the genius we saw that made us buy him in the first place. Lasse Schultz pulls one back. We are level at 2-2 at Patreon Park. And I think that's the first time in this save we've done that to a goalkeeper. Still a lot of work to do with 2 defenders in front of him. And Danso or Posh could genuinely have intercepted that and made me look foolish. They didn't. And that's arguably one of the most visually appealing goals we've scored so far. It's 2-2. This ball with the outside the boot to find Romero. Edwards is calling for it in there. Now, if Nacho can make me the right run, which he has done, we might be in for a winner. Nacho. Oh, why are you toe poking it at half a mile an hour, mate? Oh, Nacho, don't tell me that you're now going to start to lose your capabilities and impact on the team. Don't tell me. We've seen the best of Nacho Salinas already. It's intercepted by Bustamante. There is just enough time left. Ah, David Raya, you bastard! Brilliantly put together. I could have gone for the shot with Edwards, but the defender was right in front of me. Oh, what a save. Unbelievable stop from the former Brentford man. The Spaniard keeps Bournemouth level in this game. Both sides absolutely have had chances to win this fixture. Oh, both goalkeepers have kept them in it. That was the chance. I can't believe we haven't won that game in that final moment there. Brilliant game of football. Bournemouth still riding the high of promotion from last season, evidently. And perhaps just the wrong time of the season to face a newly promoted side. Unfortunately, they have gotten something out of us on this occasion. It is 1 point to go towards our fan objective. No clean sheet to go towards the other one, though. And our league position is probably still very similar in 14th as well, isn't it? We've got the Carabao Cup game coming up against Wolves, who are another recently promoted Premier League side. We're actually up to 9th with a 2nd point, so into the top half with that. Not many sides on 2 wins after 2 games, just 4. Burnley being one of them, unexpectedly. Paz has gone out on loan, really hoping that a number of those youngsters can get great loan spells now. I'd love the scout report back on the young centre mid, Javi Parra from Real Sociedad. Now, he is the guy. No, I'm not. Houghton is the one man I want to keep at the club, actually. This Javi Parra guy is the guy I'm hoping is very good. 76. He's not as amazing as I thought he was going to be overall. Physically, he's decent. Not amazing, but decent. And with 84 short passing, could very well be a fantastic player in possession. I don't know about Javi Para. He does look like he's better than Samaras and Bustamante that we currently have at the club. But is he good enough to force his way into the starting lineup ahead of either of them? Oh, I'm torn. I really am torn. Because I pinned my hopes on him being like 78 rated and it being a bit of a no-brainer. That's not a no-brainer, is it? It's got good pace though, and balance. Stamina's good too. Reaction's decent. High aggression, which would suit a centre mid position. And that short passing is what makes him stand out to me as a creative player in kind of a deep line playmaker role. Ooh, high-low work rates as well. I might... He's definitely better than Osorio. I might call... I want to take Osorio off. I might call the episode there and ask you guys again. Do I go for Javi Para? You guys said yes to Ben Jack. He's got 75 stand tackle as well, so he's good going forward and defensively. I'm going to say, do I or do I not sign Javi Para? Let me have a quick look through and see if there are potentially any other options that my scouts might well have found for that central midfield position. Any regens in here that might be any good? Francisco Montero at Valencia might be decent. He may well be pretty good as well. Although his short passing doesn't look like... Oh, no, that's not him. Where is he? Francisco Montero. Yeah, he might be good too. Do I pull the plug on Javi Para and get it done? Or do we hold out and wait and see Francisco Montero's stats? He's got 18 days left on his scout report, though. So we might not have a full scout report back on him by the end of the window. So there's still potentially the opportunity or the potential that we might not see just how good he could well be. Hello, Christopher Christensen as well. I'm intrigued by you too for basically any position in my squad. Okay, now that we've opened up those parameters for my youth scouts, we are starting to see that next level, that next generation of AFC or potential AFC Chesnoid players start to look like they might bleed their way through. Ben Jack has grown to 79 already. Salinas is up to 80 now. Schultz 77. But crucially, those two centre mids haven't started to grow this season and have peaked. So we'll probably only go up by one at most, which is why I'm looking for a centre mid in the first place. I'm not sure how old Samaras and Bustamante are. Bustamante's 21, Samaras equally 21. We're not going to have anyone that's that old, are we? Because they've all come through our or other teams' youth academies. Oh, I don't know what to do in that centre mid role, so I'm going to leave that open for you guys again. Do we wait for the potential kid from Valencia, or do I just go for it and sign Javi Para? Do I even maybe sign them both? Is that too much? Do I replace both Bustamante and Samaras in the starting lineup? That would mean the end of Hutchison, probably. It would mean probably the end of Novak as well. Although Novak will probably be better than Samaras in the majority of areas. I think it would probably mean it would be the sale of Samaras if I buy them both. And the sale of Hutchison as well. It's a big call. Genuinely a big call because Angelos Samaras has given a lot for this football club. And I always get stuck when you have that emotional attachment to a player and that nostalgia with a player that's been with you for years. I always find it hard to make the decision to make the change. You guys can look at things a bit more objectively than I can. And I'm going to ask you to do that again. What do I do with that centre mid role? You got the centre back call right. I trust you not to let me down here as well. Again, leave your comment and thumbs up others that you agree with. And hopefully, together, we can make the right call for the future of the midfield of this team. I'll see you tomorrow for transfer deadline day.